Today I'm interviewing my boyfriend Benjamin right here on his first experience house and pet sitting through trusted house sitters and how we did it. We're doing it right now as a couple. So welcome to my channel. I want to go a little bit into, before I start asking you questions, like a little bit into why we're doing this. Like I did explain it on a separate video on my own. That's gagging. We are at our house sit right now in Bend, Oregon. This is where we're shooting the interview. But we're doing this as a couple, as a way to start traveling in our home state of Washington and local states like Oregon, Canada, so we can start adventuring a bit more.
Yes.
Yeah. And I found out about house sitting back in May. It's a couple people from a community that do it full time, and I was like, what? Couldn't believe that was a way to travel. And that's when I shared with you, I think, a little bit, right? Back in May for my birthday. That was the first conversation we had, but then we started having multiple conversations about it.
Yeah.
Right? Leading up to like when we actually decided to do it, like actually seriously do it. What were your initial thoughts? I guess from the first time I told you up to like the last few conversations, and like what made you like finally be like, okay, yes, let's do it this way?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect initially, so I didn't really have an opinion. Then when I started thinking about it more, I was thinking, well, what does that actually mean? Like house sitting? Like, is it managing a farm or is it just like walking a dog occasionally? So turns out you can do both, but I don't want to manage a farm particularly. But walking dogs and feeding dogs is not too bad. So that sounded good. Also, not paying for like an Airbnb in a nice area, in a nice house, also sounded pretty good. So it just seemed like a win-win sort of a deal. And then you decided to plan and deal with all of the logistics, interviewing the people, setting up the calls, figuring out all the details, setting up the profile. So it was pretty much all I had to do is pack my stuff and go. So that was pretty nice.
And I love planning. So that's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns at all before a house sitting, pet sitting, when I brought it up?
Yeah, how high maintenance are the pets? Because every pet's different. So I didn't want to have to like, go run and I don't know, do anything crazy, to deal with the pets. And so that's kind of a important part of the interview process is asking, are the dogs aggressive? How do they behave around people, other dogs? Because you don't really know. It's kind of a mixed bag. So doing your kind of due diligence up front, I think, is important as much as you can, and being very clear at what are the expectations, what are all those sorts of things. And as long as it makes sense, as long as the people seem good, the pets seem good, I think those are the main things. And we should have some like questions, like provide questions,
Yes,
for the people.
I have all that.
Yes.
So I'll probably create a little cheat sheet I can share with everyone that's watching.
Yeah.
So I have it down to a T. I'm following a process basically that I learned from somebody else, and I just repeated that and it works. So no need to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
Yeah. And we added questions, I think, to those questions that I got. I kept adding questions. As you start doing this, you learn, okay, maybe I need to ask this. Maybe that question doesn't really matter. At first, I had a question of what time did the pets go to bed? What's the bedtime? That's such a stupid question.
I don't know. It's not a bad.
I thought so. I don't ask it anymore. Yeah. I'm like, dogs are pets just go to sleep at any time.
Yeah.
So that was funny. But like, for example, knowing how long can pets stay on their own, that's important. That's a good question. So how has it been like as a couple, like together? I know I'm interviewing you about your experience, but like, how has it been like working together as a couple, or like doing the house sit together?
It's good. Like it goes back to playing to each other's strengths and figuring out what you're good at ahead of time and just executing on that. I'm good at cooking and buying food and finding good food.
Yeah.
Like a pig to truffles,
I don't know what that is.
Truffles are like little mushrooms that pigs find. So if you have a pig, they'll go find truffles. So maybe you cut that out. Good at food and that sort of a thing, and she's also good at planning and getting up early. So the things that involve planning, setting it up, and getting up early when the cat is meowing and wants food, Giselle takes care of. And I don't have to. And I wear earplugs. I don't have to deal with that. So that's really how it works. Like for me, anyways.
Yeah.
And I guess Giselle's willing to bite the bullet on that, and that's great.
Right. Yeah. Like I don't mind feeding the pets, but we go on walks together with the
Yes.
dogs because
Yes.
it's easier if there's more than one dog.
Hmm.
If you have two people, actually.
Yeah. So just know what you want, or what you're willing to sign up for going in,
Yeah.
and then work together on the things that make sense to work together,
Yeah.
like walking the dogs or playing
Yeah.
with the dogs, whatever.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it's like as a couple, you have to be a teammates.
Yeah.
And it is about communication as well, right? Because all of this has been a communication or different conversations happening.
Yeah.
And even in the house, right? Like, yeah, I'll take care of the pets in the morning. If needed, maybe you'll feed them in the afternoon, which one day you had to.
Yeah.
Because I had to like do work stuff.
Yeah, being flexible. Having a plan, but being flexible.
So far, what has been your most favorite part of this house sitting experience?
Most favorite part. I did enjoy the park that we went to. I thought that was very cool.
To discovering.
Yeah, so as we were driving into Bend, we had a little bit of extra time, so we went to a park that was very cool and had like volcanic rocks. Rocks look like Swiss cheese, but it was like a long, flat amount of rocks by a river, and it was pretty cool. It is really cool to explore that and get like a sense of the town before really getting set up at the house. That might be kind of a cool thing to do going forward, is like find some spot to like explore before going to the house, and then going to the house and then kind of setting up there. So that was probably the highlight.
Did anything has surprised you so far?
How nice the house is.
We are in a very beautiful $2 million home
Yeah.
in Bend with a
Yes.
beautiful view.
Yeah, and what surprised me is they have a lot of really good books too.
Yes.
So I found some surprisingly good books just around. Also, yeah, having just a really good view, 2 balconies, an axe throwing space for plastic axes. There's a lot of good surprises in the house. So exploring the house when you first get there is key. Yeah.
That's what I did this in the morning time. Has anything surprised you from the pets?
Yeah,
We're taking care of 2 dogs and 2 cats.
yeah, and one cat is like a ghost that
Yes.
you almost never see.
Yeah.
One cat knows how to tell time, and it yells when 7 a.m. or 4 p.m. comes along. And
Like right now.
Yeah, it's coming up. And the 2 dogs they're pretty well overall well behaved. So the only thing that was surprising was their feeding routine, where the cats have to get set up on 2 different sides of the counters. The dogs have to be taken outside. The dogs have like a special bowl that they eat out of. It's a whole process. So that was interesting. I guess it's common for pet owners to have unique feeding rituals for their animals.
So what would you say you're learning or have learned about yourself and about us as a couple from your experience so far?
I already knew that we worked well together when it comes to you planning things and me making food and making sure that there's good food around. In terms of myself, if I don't have a plan to work out, I will not work out. And also that I need to like prioritize the 3 F's of food, fun, and fitness when I go to a new spot. And if I don't have a plan for food, fun, and fitness, it won't happen. I kind of threw together a random plan for food, so the food was good. We did have fun going to the park, but we didn't really have any other plans, mostly just because we didn't think about it. And as far as fitness, I've gained weight. So I need to prioritize gym more. And my no LA Fitness in Bend, unfortunately. So yeah, I just need to go get a free pass. I'll probably do that today.
Anything else you learned?
That I learned. Explore if they have books. Look at the books, because there might be some good books. You never know. I did find 2 good books. A book about Jung and a book, the Mike Tyson biography. So those are very interesting reads.
This is our first house sit as a couple in Bend, and we're gonna keep doing this, and we're gonna do this full time in Washington State. And so moving forward, right, like what will you do different, or what would you recommend people do based on like what you are learning?
Take the interview process seriously when choosing someone, because if we interviewed another person that just they did not seem like a great fit. Getting a good sense of the people, because if you do your homework up front, you're more likely to have a good experience especially if you're committing a week to somewhere. I guess look at the cheat sheet. And second is plan for food, fun, and fitness. If those are important to you, those are important to me. And so find the best, the restaurants ahead of time. Find some activities to do. Maybe have one main activity, and then if you really are ambitious, have like a daily thing where it's like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go to this restaurant. Next day we're gonna go to this park, and then our main activity is gonna be like off-road, like ATV stuff or whatever. And as far as fitness, scope out the gyms. If your gym is not there, find ones that have free passes and get their phone numbers and go there and try to get your free pass. And that's what I would recommend doing, and scheduling all of that. So it's been a discovery for me on the importance of planning, because if you don't plan, you plan with that. What is it? If you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Something like that.
Something like that.
So to summarize what you said, make sure you feel comfortable with the people you're interviewing, right? Because you're interviewing each other, vetting each other, the homeowners and the pet sitters.
Yeah, I would say we more interviewed them than they interviewed us, because
we're good at asking questions.
Yeah.
Well, I was asking other questions, but yes, we ended up asking all the questions, which really helped. I mean, yeah, it made a difference for us, but it also made a difference for them, because they were probably not thinking of saying any of those things.
Yeah.
You said something, make sure you vibe with the person, or
just do your due diligence. If there's like some red flags or some things that it's said that like that doesn't sound good, or that doesn't sound right. Yeah. Trust your instincts and then move on. Yeah. And these people were chill.
Yeah, super.
Yeah, no.
And then scope out ahead of time where you're headed to for whatever you want, right? For you, it's food, fitness, and fun, 3 Fs. Right? Yes. And so I can't think of mine right now, but just do your homework basically.
Yeah.
And plan, and maybe call around, whatever you need to do, right?
Yeah.
And then, since this is for couples, talk about what big activity you want to do for fun, because you may have to book it. It's going to cost money. You have to discuss those things. And if you don't buy your tickets, there may be nothing left, like what happened to us.
Yeah.
Right?
ATV's booked 2 weeks out.
Yes. And we could have booked it because we had this 3 or 4 weeks ago. But now we know better. And then work as a team.
Play to your strengths.
And play to your strengths, right? And discuss that ahead of time. Yeah. And then communicate.
Yeah.
That's big. Communicate. Anything else I missed?
Yeah, the creative potential for being in a spot like this. We're filming a video, which is something we have not done before. And so being at a new place can be a catalyst for creativity. Yes. An opportunity for more creative stuff, whether it's filming video, journaling, painting, whatever the creative thing, if you have a creative thing or a work thing or whatever, it's a different perspective, a different environment. And so you can use the opportunity to make something interesting or to tackle a challenge from a different perspective. So that's definitely a unique benefit.
Awesome. And if you are a couple and you're also doing house sitting, leave your experiences down below, so that way other people get encouraged. And we appreciate you watching. Thanks for being here.
Adios.
Welcome back to my channel. Okay. Welcome back to my channel. My God. Don't play when I'm talking, baby. Today I'm interviewing my boyfriend. So welcome to my channel.
Yeah.
3, 2. Your face is fun. Listen up, baby. Listen up, how they say.
Oh, you mean listen up?
All right. 3, 2. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Giselle, and I
test the audio.
You little butt.
You're not supposed to talk into the microphone. That's the whole point. You're supposed to just talk To the camera. If you're talking to the microphone, you break the fourth wall.
You little butt.
There you go. Oh my god, I got Kim